Hello, welcome to COMM 654. This is a class on social marketing. My name is Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. I'm going to be your instructor. This video is one of several you'll be watching this semester where I just look at a camera and I talk to you just like this. But this time, instead of talking about course content, I'm going to be just trying to give you an overview of what this course is all about, tell you a little bit about some of the policies, maybe some things about where to find stuff on eCampus, that kind of thing. I will try to keep it short, but if you don't learn this week, you'll learn in other weeks that when I say I'm going to keep it 15 minutes, it ends up 20 minutes, yada, yada, yada. So I'm not even going to try to estimate it this time. Okay, so if you want to print out the syllabus and go through it while I'm going through it, please help yourself. There is a syllabus quiz on eCampus that you can find, I believe, in the same folder where you can find your syllabus that you're going to want to take. This video introduction should hopefully help with that, but if not, pretty much everything you need to know for that quiz is going to be in this syllabus right here, and you need to take that syllabus quiz in the next couple days. The only thing you're going to be doing this week is introducing yourself, at least to me. You guys might even know each other, I know that. Introducing yourself on eCampus, and then just going through the syllabus and acclimating yourself. So try to make sure you get all that stuff done by Sunday. All right, well, let's just start with the obvious. Well, maybe you don't have a question, but let's start with the obvious question if you do have a question, which is, what is social marketing? What have you signed up for? Actually, I find that a lot of people think that they're signing up for like a class about social media because of the word social in it, and that's incorrect. I can understand, though, why you would think that, especially because some of you may have even been in my other classes where I do teach classes on social media. By training, I'm a media psychologist. I study the psychological impact of media messages, a lot of them health communication, media messages, things like that. So it would make sense that I would be teaching a class in social media, but it's not actually. Social marketing is, it's actually a term that goes back, your book will give you a specific year, to the 70s, when basically people who were interested in influencing public health behaviors wanted to try to apply product marketing strategies to social problems, right? So instead of trying to persuade people to buy things, social marketing is all about persuading people to do things that will either better themselves or the environment or something like that. And this is really this is a really important thing to keep in mind. It's harder than you think if you're not used to thinking about these, to sort of wrap your head around like what social marketing is all about. But this week, I do want you to start thinking about a social marketing problem that you might want to tackle, because the way this class is structured is you are going to slowly, bit by bit each week, be putting into place different parts of a social marketing campaign. So you're going to be working on the same topic all semester, and you're going to need to think of some sort of social marketing problem. Again, not a regular marketing problem, but a social marketing problem that you want to focus on. I would recommend, and you can see, like, well, not on this one. I was going to say on your book. Your book obviously gives you a lot of examples, but the book that you're going to have to get, it's got like, in polio and texting and driving, right? Like different public health or safety issues that you want to tackle. And those are the types of things that you want to think about. This isn't a we're not doing for-profit endeavors here. These shouldn't be things that you shouldn't be thinking about problems that are designed to advance any particular organization. Although even if there's some sort of nonprofit organization you care about, like, I don't know, I mean, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that's fine if you want to sort of piggyback on things that they've done and tackle the public health issue of drunk driving, right? Those are the types of things. But be creative, think about causes that mean something to you. Just try to stay away from, for instance, things that like would be more associated with political campaigns, like trying to advance a candidate, or things that are more associated with marketing or public relations campaigns. You need to think about something that affects the health or environment of a particular community. Okay, that's what social marketing is. So how are we going to learn it? Well, I already picked this up, so I feel a little guilty, but not that guilty, because, well, this is not the most recent edition of this book. This is the most recent edition of this book. And I could have assigned this, but as you can see, it's still shrink wrapped. I haven't had time to look at it. The truth is that I have no reason to suspect that the content in here would be that much different from here, except that the 6th edition is going to be more up to date. It's probably going to give you more recent examples. Besides that, I have not had time to investigate how it differs from the book that I've been using yet. Hopefully I'll integrate that in future semesters, but I just didn't have time this semester. So you can go ahead and get the 5th edition. If you end up with the 6th edition, I actually think you'll be fine. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It is, however, probably a little more expensive, I'm guessing. Anyway, technically what's assigned is the 5th edition. It was published 2016, and this one just came out. So that's it. You definitely need this book. It's not optional. I mean, honestly, books are always good, I think, you know, supplementally, but especially in an online class, they're just crucial because there's only so much I can teach you. Unfortunately, in an online class, it's one of the things I don't like about it. I think a lot of times students in online classes have to be pretty self-motivated to teach themselves certain things. If, for instance, you're watching a lecture video that I do and you don't understand what the hell I'm saying, go back in the book, find more examples, right? You really need the book for that type of stuff. And I do, each week, essentially, I told you you're going to be putting together a campaign. You're going to be doing that by completing these worksheets. And I rely on the book heavily. Let me put it like this. I designed those worksheets to be heavily reliant on the book. So in order to get through your worksheets, I think you're going to need to have access to that book. I do think you can rent it, though, if you don't want to purchase it because you don't want to own this for the rest of your life. To each his own, right? Okay, so go ahead and get that. So basically, I have, let's see, on page 2 of the syllabus, I have the different assignments outlined and the grades that you get for every assignment. Like I mentioned, pretty much most of what you're going to be doing this semester is worksheet based, where and worksheets consist of kind of like a step-by-step process where you answer certain questions about certain components of the campaign. Social marketing process is a step-by-step process, and each one of those worksheets represents one of the steps. At the end of the semester, the goal is for you to be able to take all the stuff you did in those worksheets and throw it into a final, like a term paper, proposal for a social marketing campaign. So you can take the work that you did on the first week of the semester and kind of, on the first worksheet you did and kind of turn that into a section on the paper. You can take the work that you did in the second worksheet and turn it into another section. I'm pretty involved with the worksheets. Like I'm really strict about making sure that you get those right, because I know that if you don't get those steps right, then your final paper isn't going to be what it should be. But the upside is that if you do all the stuff that you need to do for your worksheets each week, then hopefully my goal is, and for the most part the feedback I've received says it works out this way, you should have your term paper almost all ready for you, right? Where you have all the pieces and you just have to kind of connect them at the end. But it's not going to be like you have to do a whole lot of outside research or lots of new work at the end of the semester. Hopefully you should take all the stuff that you've been doing all along to make that term paper. So that's kind of the upside. Every presentation that is due is going to be due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. With one small exception. Once, twice, maybe 3 times a semester, instead of doing a worksheet, we're going to have a group discussion board chat where you guys just kind of like brainstorm with each other. I might not even say that much, except if people are, like getting off track. Not like, and nobody gets off track. Like, I don't care if you want to talk about other things besides the class on the discussion board. I mean, like, I'll give you enough guidance to make sure that everything's going well. But besides that, it's just a time for you to guys to kind of exchange some ideas. Because I want you guys to exchange ideas, I don't want you to wait until the very last minute of the week to post those discussion board posts. So I'm going to ask that everybody post those on Thursday or Friday so that you can have the weekend to respond back to each other. But besides that, everything in this class is due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday nights, including your final campaign proposal. Okay. What other important things should I bring up here? Most of your grade will be based on those worksheets. The final campaign proposal is worth 80 points. But then in addition to that, the very last week of the semester, I'm going to have you do a video just like this actually, like literally where you just sit there and talk to me and a camera and your classmates and tell us what you did, and that constitutes another 20 points. So your final project is due is worth a total of 100 points, but that's divided between the written paper and the video. Okay, so one other thing I want to mention is that you know, some of you guys live around Morgantown, and if you want to stop by and see me and talk to me so we can work things out, please, absolutely. It just, drop me an email and we'll set up an appointment. That's fine. Obviously, I know not everybody has that luxury. I've had students in this class from literally all over the country, like, Oregon and Texas and just never, I think always the continental United States, but all around the continental United States. But so if you can't do that, though, I will say usually at least once during the semester, we'll get a chance to probably talk on the phone. A phone conversation could happen for a variety of reasons. Sometimes after a couple of worksheets, I can tell that you're just like really struggling and maybe you're not getting the concepts, and so I will want us to talk in person, because all I can tell you is that it's hard teaching online. I can't really give you the same type of back and forth feedback that like normally happens in a one-on-one conversation, and sometimes the amount of time that it takes me to write the type of feedback that you need is the quadruple what it would take me to just tell you it, 5 minutes in person. So it makes it a lot easier for me, but it's really good for you too. It gives you an opportunity to ask me questions, to brainstorm with me a little bit. And I'm telling you, most conversations aren't going to last more than 15 minutes, but sometimes I'm going to reach out and I'm going to be like, look, we need to schedule a phone call to figure this out. Especially this semester, I mean, gosh, I think the last time I checked the roster, there's like 22 of you in this class. That's a big class. When I first designed this class, it was designed for more like 12 or 15. So having more students also limits my ability to kind of just like reach out and leave as much feedback as I need to do and things like that. So it's much more efficient for me if I get a chance to talk to you. Now, if you need to reach out to me, please, please do. I don't have obviously like official office hours where I'm going to be hanging out by my computer and you just like, I know a professor who does that, where just like he sits in his office and he does his work and he keeps his little Skype on, and if a student chimes in, no, I'm not into that. I don't want people popping up on my computer. All you got to do though is send me an email, and usually within 48 hours, I can, arrange some time to talk to you, unless it's like a conference week or something like that, but it's fine. So that's really important. The other sort of like, I guess, policy thing I'd say is like, I'd already kind of mentioned when I grade these worksheets, I'm pretty involved. I try to leave as much feedback as I can, or as I think will be useful. But again, sometimes I'll just stop and I'll be like, it's going to be easier to talk in person. Having said that, though, I do put a lot of emphasis in terms of my grading on how well you integrate the feedback that I've left you in the past. The reason for that is because after about this second or third week in this class, everything's going to become like very cumulative, where if you don't do what you're supposed to do on this worksheet, then you're not going to be able to do what you need to do on the next worksheet. So it's really important that as we're going through all these processes, you're kind of like checking off and making sure you're like, okay, I got that, ready to go on to the next step. Sometimes I will even say that you have to get some sort of acknowledgement of approval for me. For instance, if I don't actually say, and I think not next week, but the week after, the first worksheet you do, that I approve of your topic, then I'm not going to be able to grade your next worksheet. You have to kind of complete that step, get my approval, and go on to the other one. And I actually have a policy about, and it doesn't apply to every worksheet, I just want to make that clear, but you can see on, let me see, page, assignment deadlines, assignment component approvals on page 4. Again, it's not every week, but, if I don't approve something, you need to be in touch with me. You need to email me a new idea, something else for me to approve and get my approval before you move on to the next worksheet. So another thing you just want to kind of be cognizant of is that even though worksheets aren't going to be due until 11:59 p.m. on Sundays, you need to check early in the week the feedback that you get on your worksheet to make sure that you can go on to the next worksheet. So you don't have to necessarily do the next worksheet, but you need to be present enough in the class that you're kind of keeping up with what you need to do. I have been told that my class is relatively demanding, I guess is a good way of putting it, compared to like other online classes. And, you know, I mean, I don't think the work is necessarily that hard, but it is true. I am pretty demanding in terms of like, I want to make sure people are in it and keeping up. So I'm going to like push really hard for that. But I make myself available to assist you with that, to hopefully make things go smoothly. So I want you to take advantage of that. And, you know, like, you know, if you need more assistance on understanding the chapter, I do post these summary lectures each week. I should warn you though, some of them are like, God, 3, maybe 4 years old. I've been teaching this class for 5 or 6 years. And then once I got all the lectures like I wanted them, I just didn't want to change them. So you might see I've like gained a little weight, maybe have moved offices, you know, that kind of stuff. I was thinking about this when I update, when I get this new book operational, I'll need to update some of the lectures or whatever, but I did gain some weight. I think I look, you know, a little bit more fit in the old videos, so that'll be sad. But the content is the same, right? The principles of social marketing don't change. If you get them, my face will change, but social marketing won't. So I don't know. Anyway, I find this class to be extremely rewarding. I've had students who have told me that they've been able to take a lot of principles to implement their own sort of like small scale campaigns in their own context, like in school. I've had some people who have been teachers and been able to apply some of these stages for targeting different communities in their school to try to get people to adopt different types of behaviors and things like that. And even if you don't plan on using social marketing for like a specific campaign goal of your own, not everybody's gonna, you know, go into public health. I find that this class gives you a lot of valuable information for just understanding basic social influence processes for any sort of, you know, social influence endeavor that you want to take on in order to try to like nudge people into a particular behavior. So I hope that you get a lot out of it. It's fun for me at the end of the semester, after watching you step by step kind of develop this idea, to see these wonderful finished products, these really sophisticated campaign ideas that come out of it. So it's one of those classes that I think is rewarding because you will really come out of here with like a finished product that lets you kind of see how you've progressed throughout the semester. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. If you were looking for a social media class, I hope you can find another one. I don't know. And I look forward to just learning a little bit about you on the discussion board. I have a little description of myself on eCampus too, if you want to know about me. I have chickens and I watch a lot of TV. I have pugs too. And go ahead, make sure you leave that intro message on the discussion board before Sunday. And also, please check out that eCampus quiz. I want you, or the syllabus quiz on eCampus. It also asks you some questions about eCampus. I want you to take that quiz as many times as you need to until you get 100% of the points. It's kind of an all or nothing deal because the whole point is to make sure that you understand what's going on. So take that quiz over and over again until you get 100% of the answers correct and you feel like you understand all that we're going to be doing this semester. I think that's it. Made it just under 20 minutes. So that's accomplishment for me. Okay, I'll see you on eCampus. Bye.